CR101radio.com, podcasts, and more.
28. The New Year. December the 29th, 1953. Good morning, friends, and a Happy New Year to all of you. On New Year's Eve, several million people across America will spend the evening in noisemaking. It's an old tradition to do so, and friends through countless years have gathered together to greet the New Year. When midnight strikes and the first seconds of 1954 start ticking, then everyone shouts, beats a pan, blows a horn, and makes all the noise possible. Have you ever wondered why people do that? Christmas carols make sense at Christmas, but why noise at the start of the new year? It's a custom deeply rooted in man's nature and his past, and takes a little digging to trace. But we can understand New Year's Eve noise-making this way. Have you heard of people trying to whistle up courage going past a graveyard in the dark? I've seen pagan funerals characterized by noisemaking in which a brass band helped, the purpose of which was to forestall the powers of darkness. And I've gone past a lonely country graveyard at midnight with a frightened man who thought he heard the spirits talking and begged me to walk fast and loud to scare them away. He couldn't talk. The purpose behind this is clear-cut. Man has, through the ages, had a deep fear of the dark and the unknown. He is terrified by what it might contain, and its existence threatens his peace and security. His reaction, therefore, to both the dark and the unknown has been a noisy one, to make all the noise possible to overcome the presence of the terror by familiar sounds. Did you know that you have to come into the Christian world to find a quiet funeral? Elsewhere, wherever it is, any kind of ceremony, it is generally characterized by noise-making, not a quiet, confident, and victorious look at death. This, then, is the background of New Year's Eve noise-making. Man tries to drown out the insecurity of the unknown by old familiar sounds and the press of familiar companions. But what is it that man has, through the ages, feared at New Year's Eve that drives him to such a primitive and superstitious display? At New Year's Eve, faced with another year, we recognize the passing of time and the coming end of time. We realize that the old familiar things are disappearing one by one, and we with them slipping steadily away. The rest of the year, the days slip by easily and quickly, and we don't realize how much we and the world around us have changed and are changing. Everything remains the same through the weeks and the months, the same work, the same routine, the same faces, and the world seems unchanging. But on New Year's Eve we see that the world is changing, and we are too. We who are young are older now. The years that once passed by so slowly now race by. It's a little frightening to think about. We realize suddenly that we have so little time and yet so much to do. The years have taken so much from us. What will tomorrow do? And so people run away from New Year's Eve and its sobering reflections to find refuge in the age-old sanctuary of noise-making. Drown out the dark and the unknown by noise, and by the time the party's over, the safe and old routine will be back again. The Christian has no need of noise to meet the new year. He meets it with the Lord. For him there are no dark places, because God's light illumines everything. In the words of the familiar hymn, we are always stepping in the light when we walk in his steps. We are not in the hands of the world, darkness, death, or anything else, but always in his hands, and therefore there are no dark places for us here. We find him everywhere, and he is the light of the world. Again, we have no fear of the unknown. At the end of the road for us is not the terror of the unimagined, the unforeseen, and the unknown, but the Lord of glory. We feel as David did, who faced a future that could have led him anywhere and into anything, and yet wrote confidently, "Whither shall I go from thy spirit, or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. Psalm 139, 7-10, 12. This is our faith. We do not know what 1954 will bring to us. It is indeed dark and unknown to us and outside our jurisdiction, but it is not dark and unknown to the Lord, nor is it outside his jurisdiction. Our times, O Lord, are indeed in thy hands, and thou doest all things well. Therefore, our trust is in thee. Our New Years may not always be happy ones, but of this we are certain. They will always be blessed ones. And the blessing of the Lord maketh rich. Proverbs 10:22.